Okay, guys, so today we're going to be talking about FC25. And I don't know whether I'd call this a rant video, but I'm just going to explain, where I'm at with the game, and hopefully we can have a discussion. If you could let me know in the comments, things that you think maybe EA have done well with the game, things that you don't like with the game, I'd be interested to know. If we could hit 200 likes on the video, that would be fantastic. I do upload every day with videos on helping you guys improve at this game and get more wins. So if that interests you, feel free to subscribe and let's get into it. If you need the cheapest FC25 coins to build your super team, then check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 5% off. Okay, so I don't really have a structure for this video. Like, I don't know where I'm really planning on starting or even what I'm going to do, but I just felt like I wanted to talk about the game because, we're just over a week in now and I see mixed things. I see some people that seem to be enjoying the game, others absolutely despise the game. I'm going to give my sort of viewpoint to where I'm at. So, just for reference, I'm an Elite Division player. Had a little bit of a rough run since getting into the Elite Division. This is my draft record, if I can show you it. So just to give you an indication of where I'm at, in terms of actual gameplay. Like, I'm definitely not a bad player. I'm not salty because I've lost, none of that stuff. Just an honest discussion, about this game, what I think they could do better and stuff like that. We can start off by talking about gameplay, and it's disappointing because, I think myself and a lot of people have worked out what's actually happened with this gameplay. There is a lot of things that are in the game from the first FC24 patch, the original patch, okay? So, I'm talking stuff like the first time over the top through balls. They seem to be back out of nowhere, even though they were patched last year. You've got the kickoff glitch, that seems to be back. You've got these auto offside traps. Other than the player roles, which is obviously a new feature, which we'll talk about that in a little while as well. The gameplay, the code has just quite clearly been copy and pasted from FC24 with a few minor tweaks. And when I say copy and pasted, they've done it from the original FC24 code, and then they've not patched the things that were patched later on in the FC24 cycle. So we've essentially got the FC24 gameplay with all the bugs back and some new bugs along with the player roles that have been added in. And if we talk about these player roles, we're still learning the system, of course. There's things to do. And I think this idea, in principle, it's a good concept. Trying to add more sort of diversity to your team, a bit more personality on the pitch. The issue with it is it's always going to turn out into the same thing, where there's going to be a meta, there's going to be broken stuff in there that's abused. And what I find that it has done is it's made the squad building a lot more restrictive because, for example, let's say your centre backs, for example, because what we seem to have discovered is playing a player in their plus plus role is almost a must, if they've got it. If you look at this Cancelo, for example, I'm playing him in a position where he's not got a plus, and he will perform significantly worse than if he was in the same role with his plus plus. So what that's doing is it's taking away squad building options in terms of formations, the actual players you pick, everything, because you're having to work things around these roles. Like, I used Haaland as an advanced forward, which he doesn't have a plus on for. The second I changed him to the poacher plus plus, he was just a completely different player. And, for some of you, you may enjoy that, but I feel like the squad building and the whole idea of like ultimate team, like it's meant to be, being able to build your best squad, 11 players that you want in the team. And I feel like I would be more than happy if just the stats of the card were determining how players actually played and stuff. Like, I even felt at the time when they added play styles, like realistically for a lot of these, if you think about it, this should be just down to the stats. So we talk about like rapid, right? Reaches a higher sprint speed. Well, realistically, that should just be someone that has high sprint speed on their card. So there's a lot of things like that, and it's mainly down to these new roles that are really restricting, the way you're actually able to build teams. The next thing is the Evos. Obviously, these were popular last year. I've always had the belief that, like, again, as a concept, these are really good. But EA, to me, they always seem to find a way to make things really restrictive for you. These constant max ratings, different stats, things like that. I sort of get why they do it, but at the same time, it's really annoying. And the other thing that gets super annoying is because obviously you can chain Evos. If you are someone like me, or what I've done this year, where I've used some of the Evos already, you then later down the line miss out on really good chains that you never knew were going to happen because they just randomly add them in, and then all of a sudden, for example, my Joe Gomez that I've got in my club, who I managed to get to an 86 pace centre back, which I was happy with. He now has an Evo where you can get him to 89 pace, but that Evo for me is gone because I've already used it and can't do the chain. So that's a really annoying thing for me for the Evos, and I don't really know the solution. Like, you guys would have to let me know. But again, it's just these little things that get really frustrating. We talk about the gameplay frustrations, a lot of the new features that are frustrated with. These little things, they all really add up. And there's so many small things that are just really frustrating. Like, we even go to Moments, which is a game mode that they completely neglected last year. Um, I did the painful thing of sitting through and doing all this, and you literally have to get to the point where you do a glitch to complete it. You have to plug in another controller and basically score own goals with the AI, and you have to do that because I had a bug where obviously with these challenges you only have a certain amount of time to score the goal, right? And it's literally bugged where the ball was spawning in midair and just going to the opponent. They keep the ball and you don't have the time to do it. So it is impossible to even do these challenges without essentially cheating or using a glitch, whatever you want to call it. But again, it's just like laziness. Like, how has that got into the game? And it's just so many things like that where you just think, like, you just feel that it could be so much better. We'll talk about Rush now as well. And I think the mode, as a concept, again, like the concepts they're coming up with, really nice. The execution of this, I think, is really poor. Like, for Ultimate Team, you've got the objectives for Rush, which I have done because, you're going to sit there and do them. 70k Rush points for these packs, it's honestly abysmal. Like, it took like 4 hours straight of doing it. And, you could argue 4 hours across the week or whatever is nothing, but you want incentives to play, and I'm hoping that down the line, they're going to do a lot more with this mode. But like, at the minute, it's just not enjoyable. And you've got like this max 79 thing, so you're having to use awful untradeable players from your club, which again, some people may agree with it because it means that you're not just running around with pay to win teams, but it's so restrictive. I just feel like there's so much stuff on this game where you can't actually do what you want. You're just forced down a certain path of to what EA, how they want you to play the game. You got this centre back one, which, it just seems a bit gimmicky. Like, who wants to have a full team of centre backs playing Rush? Maybe you do. You'll have to let me know. For me, doesn't interest me at all. So many minor things. Like, I think at the minute you can't even, like, if you have a team of four, you can't even invite another team of four on foot. And they've said about they're going to be adding that in, either in a future update or next year. Like, how is it taking a year to add in a feature where you can play friendlies with another team? It's mind blowing. And in the Ultimate Team version of Rush, you are not even able to sort of rank up and go through divisions or anything. You're just playing randoms every game. And maybe this is like a me issue. You might not have had this problem. Maybe you have. Like, we're playing people every game that are so far below our level, like in Rush, that it's not fun. And it's not fun for us because we don't, like, there's just no enjoyment in smashing people that are a lot worse every single game. There's genuinely no enjoyment. and then the people that we're playing definitely aren't enjoying it either. And I'm not saying that I want them to absolutely juice the mode out of SBMM, but maybe at least like even a way to search how it is now where it's completely random, and then some sort of ranked where you can just go through and actually have some competitive games as well. I know you can do that on clubs, but you know, we want to do that on foot with the players that we're ultimately paying to get. And you know, that's the main mode that a lot of us are playing on. And it just feels again, you know, like it's just been rushed and thrown out there. No pun intended, by the way. And it's again, it's just very restrictive. And yeah, you've then got draft, which obviously I've played quite a bit. It's been the same mode, exact same with no changes for God knows how long now, many years. They just don't seem to change it. I don't know whether the rumor's true. You know, apparently they had the person that was actually working on Foot Draft. They left the company or whatever, and then ever since they've not been able to change any of the coding. Which, if that is the case, like EA, I'm going to give you some credit. You're a massive company. You've got all the resources in the world. Like that is not an excuse. You know, if that's the case, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like this should have been refreshed by now. Like something added, or you know, mind blowing really. You've got champs, which I don't know what you guys think. I don't think it's the worst thing. You know, it has gone to 15. I do look at champs always with a little bit of saltiness, you know, because we went from the days of having 40 games and the absolutely cracked rewards, you know, the monthly rewards. And to be fair to them this year, this is the best rewards we've had in years. You know, if you hit that 15 and 0, you're getting an icon every week, I believe. You know, the rewards look absolutely cracked. So there's fair play on that. I'm still really disappointed that it's nearly 2025 and we're not able to play co-op champs. You know, the competitive mode with the best rewards of the game, and we're not able to play with friends. Again, if we go back to Rush, I feel like being able to do foot champs on Rush, that would be a massive hype thing. You know, a squad of four of your, you know, four best friends playing for all the best rewards, like the content, the hype that would go around that, it'd be crazy. And I think a lot of the things I'm saying, you know, it just comes down to just the huge potential that I think EA have to make a crazy game, and a lot of the ideas are already there. Like Rush is a great concept. We have Champs, which is a great concept. You've got a really good, well, I say really good, loosely, system in Rivals. You know, where you're able to go up. I think adding in the relegations was a big W for them this year. You know, people need to be able to be what their level actually is. They need to be able to go up and down. But ultimately, there's just so much missed potential with this game. I think they seem to be taking the steps now, you know, with Russian stuff to add in more things. Like the wave at the minute in gaming is playing stuff with your friends, of course, like this online era. So, I mean, hopefully at some point we're going to be able to see, you know, some sort of foot champs mode or competitive, or at the very least, like the objectives we've got now for Rush, they need to be juiced up. You know, like the friendlies, you know, if we could have stuff, we always go back to that. What was it, FIFA 17? I believe, with like the Aubameyang, the Royce and stuff, with the footies cards that you could unlock where you had to win a certain amount in a certain games. Like, people want that sort of stuff. And I just feel like having these incentives to get on and grind and enjoy the game. Like, I'm really trying this year, but I'm already reaching the point where, like, I've done these rush objectives, I've done the moments, and while there's no champs on, there's literally nothing for me to do other than sit here and sweat out Elite Division for rewards that I've already got. Because sadly, the gameplay by itself is just nowhere near fun enough to sit and play for the sake of playing. And that's a whole nother issue in itself. And I don't know whether we'll ever be able to get there, because the community's been so drilled into, you know, the grind and the incentive, and it's all about building your club up now. I think, you know, the days may be gone of actually just jumping on the game to play football and have fun that way. I don't know whether we'll ever be able to get back there just because of how the mode's gone. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Whether you agree, disagree, you know, feel free to let me know. Keep it civil in the comments. But I like to do one of these videos every so often, just to explain, you know, how I'm feeling with the content. If we go on to SBCs at the minute, you know, there's some decent stuff out there. I think they've taken a lot of heat for some of the prices, like the Haaland, super expensive compared to his gold card, stuff like that. To Ram, you know, he's a good player here. I don't think it's the absolute worst value. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know whether there's much more to say. Obviously, the actual gameplay itself, changes are needed. You know, the sprint boost is absolutely out of control. As much as I do love using it, the gameplay, again, like I say, it just seems to be a rehashed FC24, like with these new player roles. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. I won't ramble on for too much more, but hopefully, you know, if you enjoy this sort of video, do let me know by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. I appreciate you guys watching always. I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace.